It was one of the most controversial wars of the 20th century, a conflict that divided nations, toppled leaders, and changed the way we think about modern warfare. Today, we're breaking down 10 surprising facts about the Vietnam War. Before we dive in, if you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more history deep dives. And let us know your thoughts in the comments. Number 1. It wasn't just the US versus Vietnam. Most people imagine it as America against North Vietnam. In reality, it was a global struggle. The South Vietnamese was supported by the US, Australia, South Korea, and Thailand. Meanwhile, the North had backing from the Soviet Union and China. It was a Cold War chessboard, with Vietnam caught in the middle. Number 2. The war lasted longer than you think. The US officially entered in the early 1960s, but the conflict actually stretched over 3 decades. It began in 1945, when Vietnam fought French colonial rule, and it didn't truly end until 1975 with the fall of Saigon. That's 30 years of nearly non-stop war. Number 3. Guerrilla warfare changed the game. North Vietnamese forces and the Viet Cong relied on guerrilla tactics, ambushes, booby traps, and hit-and-run attacks. They knew the terrain, they knew the jungles, and they used that to bleed out a superpower that had more money, planes, and weapons. Number 4. The draft rocked America. In the US, the draft pulled in 2.2 million young men. The average age of a soldier in Vietnam? Just 19. For many, it was the first time they'd ever left their hometowns, and they were sent straight into one of the harshest battlefields on Earth. Number 5. The war was televised, and that changed everything. For the first time, Americans weren't just reading about war, they were seeing it on their TVs every night. Images of napalm strikes, wounded soldiers, and burning villages brought the brutal reality into living rooms. It fueled massive anti-war protests at home. Number 6. Helicopters became the symbol of Vietnam. The helicopter wasn't just a vehicle, it defined the war. Over 12,000 were used, mostly Hueys. They carried troops, evacuated the wounded, and launched attacks. Vietnam was the first true helicopter war, and it forever changed military strategy. Number 7. The Ho Chi Minh Trail was nearly impossible to stop. North Vietnam supplied its fighters in the south through a vast jungle network called the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The US dropped millions of tons of bombs trying to destroy it, but the trail kept running. It stretched through Laos and Cambodia, and it became one of the most effective supply lines in military history. Number 8. More bombs than World War II. Here's a staggering fact. The US dropped more bombs on Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia than all sides combined in World War II. That's over 7 million tons. Entire regions were scarred, and unexploded ordnance still causes casualties today. Number 9. The war sparked cultural revolutions. The Vietnam War didn't just change politics, it reshaped culture. From protest songs and hippie movements to films like Apocalypse Now and Platoon, the war inspired decades of music, art, and film. It became a symbol of resistance, rebellion, and questioning authority. Number 10. The end was chaotic and tragic. On April 30th, 1975, Saigon fell to North Vietnamese forces. Helicopters evacuated the last Americans from rooftops, while desperate South Vietnamese tried to flee. It marked the end of the war, the reunification of Vietnam, and one of the most dramatic exits in US history. The Vietnam War wasn't just a clash of armies, it was a clash of ideas, generations, and global powers. Its lessons still echo today, about the limits of military might, the power of public opinion, and the human cost of war.